Hi everyone, my name is Hariharan Murugan from DD3 S3A. Now I'm going to explain about 5 important aspects to get started designing accessible web pages. First I'm going to explain about provide sufficient contrast between foreground and background. Foreground text needed to have a sufficient contrast with background colors. This includes text on images, background gradients, buttons, and also other elements. This does not apply for logos or incidental text such as text that happens to be in photograph. The link below provide more information on the minimum contrast ratio as required by the WCAG and how to check contrast. Contrast ratio is a short version of the more technical correct term luminance contrast ratio. These are the examples of contrast ratio that has been given as to insufficient and sufficient. Next up, do not use color alone to convey information. While color can be useful to convey information, color should not be the only way information is conveyed. When using color to differentiate elements, also provide additional identifier that does not rely on the color perspection. For example, use an asterisk in addition to color to indicate required form fields and use labels to distinguish areas on graph. These are the examples showing how people convey information by using colors and also colors and symbols. Next up, ensure that interactive elements are easy to identify. Provide distinct styles for interactive elements such as links and buttons to make them easy to identify. For example, change the appearance of the links on mouse, hover, keyboard focus, and touchscreen activation. Ensure that styles and naming for interactive elements are used constantly throughout the website. Next up, these are the examples of stylings to stand out from text and mouse hover style. My other point is ensure that forms elements include clearly associated labels. Ensure that all fields have descriptive labels adjacent to the field. For left to right languages, labels are usually positioned to the left or above the field, except for checkboxes and ratio buttons where they are usually to the right. And also, avoid having too much of space between labels and fields. So these are the examples showing the labels and input fields associated by proximity.
Hello, my name is Vinod. I am from class DDTS3A. Today I am going to start about my presentation from the last aspect in designing the accessible web pages. Okay, the last is provide easily identifiable feedback. Okay, provide feedback for interactions such as confirming form submission, alerting the user when something goes wrong, or notifying the user of changes on the page. Instructions should be easy and identified. Important feedback that requires user action should be presented in a prominent style. Okay, um, it's very necessary to our web pages have to show the user when they are do a wrong thing in the web page. User should know what they are where they are doing the wrong and what the way to overcome the fault they are doing in our web pages. Then only user feel easy and they are like to visit our web pages. Okay, for example, using error list icon and background color to make errors stand out. Okay, the errors user are doing as to reach the user very easily and they have to notify where they are doing the errors and how to overcome it. Okay, this is the example for it. Okay, the next we are going to see is a technology that can make our web accessible to people with a wide range of abilities and disabilities as below. Okay, the first is they are got three disabilities as below, which is blind people, hearing impairments, mobility impairment. Okay, now we are going to see about the blind people and our technology which we are going to use to the blind people, which is JAWS, the screen reader. Okay, the meaning of JAWS, JAWS is job access with speech. Okay, this is a computer screen reader program for Microsoft Windows that allows blind and visually impaired users to read the screen either with a text to speech output or by a refreshable braille display. Okay, JAWS allows users to read the screen with a text to speech output or through a refreshable uh, braille display. Users whose vision loss restricts or prevent them from seeing screen content or navigating with the mouse can move throughout a page using keyboard commands. Okay, this will help the blind people to access our web pages and they can do anything they want to do in our web pages. Okay, this okay. The following we are going to see about is the hearing impairments. Okay, for this we can use a simple technology which all the movies are doing, which is provide subtitles or captions. Okay, both also same. Okay, subtitles or caption are the words shown at the bottom of videos that explain what's being said or what's happening. The term subtitles typically refers only to spoken content, whereas captions also includes descriptions of non-speech sounds like music, applause, and laughter. Okay, this is clearly we all know when we are go to theater also we can see the subtitle in the Malay and the Chinese. When we are downloading a movie also, when we are downloading the subtitles, we can see the words what they are saying in the bottom of the video. The Netflix user, the Prime Video users, or all are using the this simple technology. Okay, um, this will help when the hearing impairments cannot understand what they are saying, and they can see the subtitles and they can understand what they are going to say or what they are saying in the video. Okay, these are the subtitles logo. I just had subtitle logos. Okay, the last is mobility impairment. Okay, mobility impairment. Okay, for this we are going to use the Dragon Naturally Speaking technology. Okay, it's a leading speech recognition software. It can be used to detect text, but it can also navigate the web and applications. For example, a person could say activate submit to click submit button on the form. A mouse click also available to simulate a mouse click on the screen if the website or application doesn't recognize the direct navigation command. Okay, uh, this software allows the users to speak into Word documents or web pages, Microsoft Word, Outlook, Word, and almost every other application. Okay, the words will appear exactly where you were about to type them. Instead of typing, you talk into a microphone. You will speak the punctuation as it is required. So at the end of the sentence, you will say a full stop, and mid sentence you might say a comma. Dragon is really straightforward and easy to use. Okay, this is the technologies we are going to use when they are disability users are using our web pages. Okay, this is the logo of Dragon Nature Speaking. We can speak in microphone and the software will do for us. Okay, the next is okay. Now the last thing that I'm going to present for now is the universal design. Okay, when all users' needs are taken into consideration in the initial design process, the result is a product that can be used by the broadest spectrum of users. Justify about above statement and give one example of applying a universal design approach, which is flexibility in use when designing a tools, software, hardware, or workspace, and etc. Okay, first we have to know what is the universal design and what is for. Okay, universal design involves designing products and spaces so that they can be used by the widest range of people possible, which disability people and abilities people. Okay, Universal design evolved from accessible design process that addresses the needs of people with disabilities. Universal design goes further by recognizing that there is a wide spectrum of human abilities. Okay, for example, a moving walkway in the airport. Okay, we all have went to airport and we see about the moving of walkway in airport. The moving walkway is designed to provide travelers the option of standing or walking. Okay, individuals who are tired, who are have difficulty with the mobility, and the parents or whoever with the children may prefer to stand or walk slowly in the moving walkway. The people need to hurry may choose to walk faster in the movie uh, airport. Okay, this is the example which the design is fit to all the abilities people and disabilities people also. Okay, this the universal design, making design accessible to everyone in society. That's all from me. Thank you.
Example of universal design. The first thing are suitable use. They are privacy, security, safety should be equally available to all users. Make the design appealing to all the user. Second point is flexibility in use. First one is provide choice in method of use, recommended right or left-handed access and use. C. Provide adaptability to the user's pace. Thirdly, simple and intuitive use. Eliminate unnecessary complexity. B. Be consistent with the user's expectation and intuition. 4. The fourth point are predictable information. Provide enough contrast between extensional info and around it. Differentiate the element in way that can be described. Fifth point, tolerance for error. Provide warning or hazard on or an error. B. Provide fail safe features. And sixth point, low physical effort. Allow user to maintain the neutral body position, minimize the substantial physical effort. Seventh point is size and space for approach and use. Make all components comfortable for seated or standing users. Accommodate variation in hand and grip size. The next point sorry guys, the next point universal design are being mistakenly described as a search for one size fit all design or universal design is not just about a one size fit all. Describe about this statement to make sure designers should strive to create a design that does not exclude or secret all the users. Universal design has been mistakenly described as a search for a one size fits all design. Universal design doesn't encourage designers to consider the wide ranging abilities of their users and where possible an optimal design that created for as many people as possible shouldn't be sought after. But a more universal solution can be also incorporate, for example, customizable features that can be adapted from the user to user, smart features that learn a user's preferences after multiple users, most relevant to ICT, and specialized solution to meet particular needs. They aim to provide the same equivalent experiment activities and service to everyone. Is not accepted that these may have to be provided through slightly different routers and interfaces, but the designer shouldn't strive to create a design that's not exclude or segregated. And figure 1. Perhaps of the more positive outcome of the COVID-19 pandemic couldn't be could be a new blended world in higher education. It would be a world that includes flexible learning environment that gives students a choice, either participating in face-to-face classroom or activity, virtual thought, online engagement techniques, including proxy, robot, or other imaging technologies. That the idea would be the provide choice flexibility according to the need of the student. Explain the learning environment in Figure 1 Confi is offer a way to meaningfully participate in social aspect of learning nowadays. So, flexible learning, a method of learning where students are given a freedom in how, what, when, or where they learn. Flexible learning environments address how physical space is used, how students are grouped during the learning, and how the time is used throughout teaching. With the space of student may be the given dedicated breakout rooms to the collaboratively. School may restructure traditional schedules to provide students with the time of collaboration and other activities such as a guest speaker performance of to assist their understanding of a topic. And morally, explain the learning environment in figure 1 that could offer a way to meaningfully participate in social media, social aspect of learning nowadays. So, career in our point, we have clarified this question with career advancement and hobbies. Studying online gives more flexibility. You can work and fit your work schedule and your hobbies around your coursework more easily. Even more so if you are taking a unsynchronized class and online classes where you don't have to log in at a specific time for live section, but you can study and interact with your instructor and your fellow classmates at your own pace through, for example, in the discussion forum. And secondly, flexible schedule and environment. By studying online, we choose our own learning environment that works best for the needs. Be it our room, our study, or the cafe across the street, or our local gym. Listening to our instructor lecturer postcard as you run on your treadmill. And self-discipline and responsibility. Studying online requires more self-motivation and more time management skill because we will spend a lot of time in your own without someone physically close to us. Focus on deadlines. Look at this way. Our online courses will not only teach us geology or poetry, it also helps us to become more self-motivated, a trait that will make us stand out in the workplace and beyond. And will look great on your resume. That's it. Thank you very much.